every one of us. Okay, that's my pocket. You know, it's amazing being the MC. You become a celebrity all of a sudden. Everybody wants to attach something on you. Thank you, sir. God bless you. Yeah. This morning we want to commence the program by, after we have prayed and we have committed everything to the hands of God, we want to welcome each and every one of us, and I want you to help me do something. There's a distinguished fellow beside you. Can you please help me welcome them? And tell them you're welcome. Distinguished member of ABRIP, you're welcome. You're welcome to this great meeting. And please help me ask him, how has it been since 2 days ago that I've been here? Have you learned something? Have you started practicing what you learned? Please don't let us be like children, no. Don't let's use them to eat. Let's begin to put them to practice. And as we do, we get better. The Lord will help us in Jesus' name. Sorry, it's not a... Don't mind me. Yeah, it's allowed. Thank you, man. Yeah, so this morning, as I welcome all of us distinguished members to our seats, I also want to welcome some special people to the high table. Like I earlier said, all of us are special, but you know all of us cannot be on the high table. So I want us this morning to join me in welcoming with our loud ovation and clap this morning our distinguished director of the Institute of Education, University of Ibadan, our mommy, Professor Falaye. You're welcome, man. Please join, help me put your hands together for mommy. You're welcome, man. Please, man. Good morning, man. Also this morning, coming to join her on the high table is our keynote speaker. He has been around. I was fortunate to meet him before entering here this morning. I'm talking about the immediate past director of academic planning at Olabisi Onabanjo University. And he is the current director of the Institute of Education of the same institution. Join me this morning with your loud ovation in welcoming Professor O. Oyedeji, all the way from Olabisi Onabanjo University. You're welcome, sir. We are glad to have you this morning. You're welcome, sir. Don't stop the clapping until you get to your seat. You're welcome, sir. Also this morning, joining the high table is also another distinguished personality. She was the former director of the Institute of Education, University of Ibadan. I'm talking of nobody else but Professor Adeleke. Please, man, put your hands together to welcome mommy to the high table. You're welcome, man. We are glad to have you. Good morning. I know some other people will still come, but here present this morning with us is also one of our mummies at the Institute of Education, University of Ibadan. I'm talking of Professor, our distinguished mummy, Professor Eugenia Okilago. Please, can we put our hands together? Please, now you are invited to the high table, man. Is there an usher? Please, can you help me bring her to the high table? Don't stop clapping until she comes forward. You're welcome, man. We are glad to have you this morning. Please help me put the claps together until she comes to the high table. Welcome, man. You know, I always imagine it's difficult to direct people. But you know what? You guys have been very tremendous. You have been very obedient. Imagine small me telling you not to stop clapping until somebody comes and you are obeying. Thank you very much. You also will be honored. Thank you so much. Also this morning, we have in our midst Mrs. Olufunmilola Akintayo. All the way, she is the coordinator for all federally funded schools. We have the schools, the primary health care schools, training tutors. Please, you're welcome. Please put your hands together. She's the coordinator of all those federally funded schools. Schools like the PHC training, the environmental health training, the nursing training, and then the, I can't remember the other one. Thank you, sir.
Professor Bore from
Okay. Do you know what I would do? I would just stylishly pass it to you. Since you know his details, then you can. Yeah. Okay. You want to write them. When you're ready, that's a minute. So please, ma, thank you, ma, for coming. We appreciate you, ma. Thank you so much. We are glad to have you in our midst this morning. Also here this morning, before I get there, maybe I should just do this. We are two this morning anchoring this program, and I would like to, at this point, leave the remaining set of introduction and invitation to my colleague. Sir. Okay, he's still busy with some other things. Okay, while he's still busy with other things this morning, we also have this morning in our midst the convener of Adeleke. All of us have been with him, all of us have met him, and he has been inspiring. I'm talking of no other this morning, but Dr. Joshua Adeleke. Please, can we put our hands together as we bring him also to the high table? Thank you, sir. Thank you, audience. We also have in our midst this morning Mrs. Tola Adeleke, the coordinator for Nursing Tutor Program. Please, ma, please put your hands together as we welcome her also to the high table. You're welcome, ma. We are glad to have you. Thank you for coming, ma. Okay. While other things are going on, let me hand over to.
Thank you. The lead paper presenter, Professor to welcome our very
Okay, beautiful.
Professor Bore for Adeleke University in those days.
Let's clap our hands for him. He has been here with us since Sunday, working with us, teaching us. Also, we want to honor the presence of our father, Professor Adewale, who has been the brain behind this program. You are welcome, sir. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir. Yeah, while that one was going on. Okay, while that one was going on, we also have some people that we want to bring forward to the red seat here to give support to the high table. I have this morning in our midst Mrs. Aren Onowola. Please, can we please put our hands together as we bring her to the red seats in front? You're welcome, ma'am. Thank you so much for coming. Also in our midst this morning is a distinguished fellow of the Adeleke 2, all the way from Alvan Ikoku College of Education, Owerri. I'm talking about Dr. Ihekuaba. You're welcome, ma'am. Please Can you please come forward? Ma, I have instructions to bring you to the Red Sea. Please, can we put our hands together as you come to the Red Sea, please? You're welcome. Sorry, ma, I'm sorry for mispronouncing your name. Please pardon me. No, all the intention, ma. Also, this morning we want to bring forward to the Red Sea Miss Engineer and Mrs. Anyangbade, if they are around already. Are they? Not yet. Okay. Then also, he is not around too. Okay. All right. Yeah. So, while waiting for all the other dignitaries to come, we want to go into the program straight away, and we'll begin with the national anthem. Please, are we ready? Technical? Sirs, are we ready there for the national anthem?
After the national anthem, please move people to the
Okay. That's the university anthem. Thank you so much. Yeah. Please, I want to crave our indulgence this morning. All of us seated, especially on this side, please, I will please plead with us to please fill the middle pews, please. Please, can we move to the center, please? Those of us on the edges, please, can we move to the centers, please? Since the centers are not... Sir? Okay. Oh, for charging points. Oh. Please, what we can do is we can draw some of these charging points to the centers. Please, can the technical please help us? Let's draw them so that people can move to the center. It's not good that we are scattered. It's not good for visibility. Please, can we do? Yes, after the opening, all of us can move to our comfortable regions. But for now, let's please come to the central. Thank you so much. As we proceed into the program this morning, before we go to the next agenda on the program, I want to use this opportunity to welcome, especially for goodwill messages for Iberi. I don't know who will want to build the card this morning, who will want to start. Sir, is there any particular order, or I should just pass the mic? Let me start from Dr. Gore for goodwill messages. Then we can just move it on to the end of the item. Thank you, sir.
Praise the Lord. Praise the Lord. Amen.
Okay.
I am praying
So,
so many reasons. I have my father's and my mother's prayer seated on the side table. Among them seated, I have one of my examiners, Professor Adeleke. I am happy he brought me to this level. And I'm happy since we start the program on Monday, what we have been doing here has been very marvelous. I am very sure we all have experienced a lot of things, and like we were told yesterday, that what we have acquired in the workshop for the past two days, we should go back and practice them. Professor Uwamana said, materials acquired are not used, you will not remember them. Like we were talking this morning, I said, what we are doing here is a kind of a apprenticeship program. What you are learning, go back and practice them. By the time you are very conversant with it, you will find out that you'll become a master over it. I pray that this little group will come to overturn and change the orientation of so many other people. Thank you.
Please, can we put hands together? Sorry, that was a gaffe on my part, and I'm very sorry. I completely apologize. Number one, there were two. Number one, I invited Dr. Gore instead of Professor Gore. Please, sir, apologize. That wasn't intended. I'm very, very sorry about that. Then number two, so this is I want you to put us together to welcome the conclusion of the work.
like I said somewhere, that I found it difficult when I have mummies and daddies seated in a place, you now address them as ladies and gentlemen. So I say traditionally, I will not feel comfortable to address Mama Emeka. I will not say ladies and gentlemen. So personally, I don't find it so comfortable. So lastly, Professor Yedeji seated and said, ladies and gentlemen. I know they are gentle, but I think they are more than that. I would say mummies and daddies at the high table end, I really appreciate. Then I will begin to mention briefly people one by one. Let me start from the person who is the head of all of us. When parts of the body are functioning well, you may need to trace the functionality to the edge, because it's not good. It will stream down to the other parts of the body. So I appreciate Professor Folajo Kupalaye support. A round of applause for her. I think this might not be the time to be there because of our time. So many things to say, but God has really used her to support the move, and I really appreciate. I will end up with the keynote presenter and the lead presenter. They are the people that I will address last. Then next is our immediate past director of the Institute of Education. In fact, I don't know how to describe her. I made an omission. If it are to be some other places, all what she will need to do is to keep quiet and wait for the day that it will knock me on my head. But she doesn't have that spirit. She was the one who sent to me a text. But normally I didn't know that she's around. Anyway, I thought she traveled. She now said, that your program, when and where will the program hold? Please, a round of applause for people like that. Honestly, it's not common. Please, better a round of applause for her. I have the text message here I can reach to you. How many senior colleagues will try that? They will just wait quietly. Okay, so I'm too small to be invited. So I will tell you that I'm not as small as you called me. So I really appreciate that spirit. So many things we are learning. I think I've learned another thing. That if you have somebody that you love, if the person has not invited you, invite yourself. Because I'm part of something good that you are doing. Please, I really appreciate. And later, I now forwarded an official invitation to her. So, and she accepted, even with shortest time of notice. Please, this kind of spirit really fast. Honestly, it's not common, no. So thank you so much, man. Then, next is Mama. In fact, I don't know how to describe her. Adeleke, what you are doing, first of all, come and check what you are doing. And she came the first day. That the other one, I will now come fully. And Professor Kilagwe is here to see what the boy. Good enough. They all taught me when I came to the institute. So when you now see your student doing well, and you are having this kind of disposition to what your student is doing, how many teachers will give that kind of a support to their own students? So I really appreciate so much. I kept on talking about Professor Kilagwe when I saw Dr. Adepoju from Gombe State University. Every time Professor Kilagwe will teach 711, decide, and she will give assignment or program evaluation. It will be Adepoju's thesis, and that Adepoju is there. Many of you that you critique the thesis, if you have critiqued Adepoju's thesis, raise up your hand. Before many, Mama Lonjon, you should raise up your hand now. You remember. So Adepoju is here. Many of us we use the thesis. We never knew Adepoju, but Adepoju is in our midst. Adepoju, Dr. Adepoju from Gombe State University. probably stepped out. Okay. So I really appreciate you, man. Then our mommy from the mother, the way the MC described us, mother, that when you get to UCA, just ask for federally funded school. We have about 4 programs and 4 independent schools, and she's the head of all of them, and that's Miss Akintayo. Thank you very much. Another spirit, she was the one reminding me about when the program will be holding. I really appreciate you. Then we have someone I call Auntie Tola. So when they are asking for the full name, I just say put Tola Adeleke. So leave further, please. Thank you so much. She's the head of non-tutor program, University College of Hospital. I really appreciate your coming. Thank you very much. Then I don't need to spend much time to talk about Professor Bore. We are in it together. So I think he should be talking about the association and not anybody talking about him. So thank you so much for the support you've been giving since Monday. Now back to Baba. Those of you that participated in the inauguration of the association, that was on 13th October. I don't need to give any explanation or much description about him. In fact, the type of support I received from him, I went to his house. I don't need to tell you private things that happened between us. So that one is between daddy and son. So don't get the full gist. So I really appreciate Professor Yedeji all the way and the support she has been giving. A round of applause for Professor Yedeji. He is going to give the keynote address to us, and everybody will wait to listen. You have much to gain from, because he'll be talking from experience, not just a book. Then, if I call her mommy or I call her auntie, I think all will be correct. Because when we did the inauguration and she came all the way from University of Uyo, I didn't see, then though, I didn't see our relationship so cordial to the point that I didn't know. Somebody may like you, but you may not know the depth of love or likeness until an opportunity to express that love of affection now comes up. So it was when we did the inauguration and she called me, Adeleke, I'm coming. In fact, no. Right? So can you help me appreciate our newspaper presenter, Professor Umobong. Thank you so much. I really appreciate. Then, because of our time, I may not be able to be mentioning all ladies and gentlemen that are around. Dr. Ekwaba, we may not call the name so well. All of them participated. If you recall at a time when we had detailed presentation on APA format. The person that was throwing it on the platform. So stand up for recognition. So I call her Mama APA. Thank you so much and all of us for the support you've been giving to keep especially those 2 platforms alive, because many people are benefited, and I know we'll continue in that way. So on this note, I want to welcome everybody to this program, and I believe and I pray to God that the blessings of bringing us together will be ours. Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Let's clap our hands. You can help me, sister. We want to proceed in the program. Now we want to go opening remarks. But before we move, we want to make a little correction. We're very sorry to have addressed, because I'm always stand against that, to have addressed Dr. Aaron as Mrs. Onowana.
I'm very sorry for that. I think our apology is taken. Thank you. So we want to proceed to welcome opening remarks by Professor Fola Jogun Falaye. We are happy to have him now. Thank you.
Stay there. These two together. All protocol. I am delighted at this special gathering, the maiden workshop conference of the Association of Behavioral Science Research Analysts and Psychometricians. This association is less than a year old. Within the few months of its existence, a lot had taken place. I recall the inauguration of Adeleke. I didn't even know that it was in October. I thought it was much earlier. So if you calculate, it's like the association is just about 4 or 5 months old. But a lot went behind the scene. Today we have Adeleke standing firmly. Adeleke is the brainwork of Dr. Joshua Oluwatoyin Adeleke. Exclusively the handiwork of Dr. Joshua Oluwatoyin Adeleke. When he gave birth to that little mustard seed, unlike what many of us will do, he came to me and said, "This is what I want to do and leave behind for the Institute of Education and by extension, the University of Ibadan." I did not hesitate in joining him to ensure that we are where we are today. Within the few months, we had the inauguration in October, followed closely by a workshop, and now we are having the third activity, which is a 2-in-1 activity for 4 days. Those of us that were present observed what happened on Monday and Tuesday. You are in a better position to give us feedback. But from my own little observation, it is unprecedented. Am I right? It is unprecedented. On Monday, Tuesday, this place was filled to capacity. What actually made me, I sat back yesterday evening, and that's why I said it's unprecedented. 7 o'clock yesterday, 2 groups here. When we declared the day closed, they still went back. And I said, I want to place on record the interest and passion of our dear participants. Without you, Dr. Adeleke's passion of showcasing the Institute of Education would not have been
fruitful. He called, we joined him in calling you, and you responded. I want to appreciate you. Now, I read the vision and the mission of Adeleke. The mission is to promote, develop. Some of us, we need the development. Develop and promote knowledge in research, analysis of data, skills development. Why? For what purpose? So that we can be globally relevant. As my prof said in October, I remember clearly, we need to push out the quacks. Who are the quacks? People who do not have, or who have little or no understanding of what research is, of what analysis is, of how to present your findings. We may have the same data, we may have the same findings, presenting the results may be different, and it makes a huge lot of difference in research. And particularly for those of us in evaluation, we want to present our reports in such a way that decision makers will use the findings in taking decisions. Ladies and gentlemen, this association, and that is what again I like about it, has catered for all categories of researchers. It has catered for all categories of researchers. If you are a purely quantitative researcher, you have a place. We have the 3 sessions here yesterday. If you are a purely qualitative researcher, you have a place. And if you swing, like somebody said yesterday, like the pendulum, a little here, a little there, I'm referring to the mixed methodologists, you are welcome. What we did in the 2 days is an eye-opener. You all have testified to it. I want to appreciate all of you for coming and your time. And I also want to pray that Adeleke grows in leaps and bounds. As I take my seat, permit me to join the visionary Dr. Adeleke in welcoming all of us. I want to welcome especially Professor Oyedeji, Professor Adeleke Meke. She's always had a very large heart. For those of us who know her closely, she has a very large heart. It is rare for her to do what she did, but I've known her for long. Our directors from UCH, federally funded, we appreciate you. Professor Bore, that is the purpose of where Adeleke will take us to. Online teaching and learning. We have been interacting with Professor Bore since October. And Dr. Mike Koje, unfortunately, I think he has gone back. And my sister here, APA, we didn't see ourselves. So the world is a global village. And we need to have the skill that will place us squarely in the Committee of Nations. Remember, people say the tool of yesteryears is no longer adequate for the job of today. My Professor Umfong, thank you, ma'am. Mama in the Institute, this lady is a workaholic, seated here. I'm afraid when I see her. My sister from UCH, God will bless you. I thank the entire crew, I always like to refer to the 6 P's. Proper planning prevents poor performance. If you know what the team, it's a large group, have put into this, no wonder today we are happy. I want to enjoy all of us that as we move into the second tier, when we'll be presenting our papers, make it very interactive and vibrant. God bless you all.
Thank you very much, Ma, for that inspiring speech. And we also appreciate Dr. Adeleke for the welcome address too. Are we set to go? Are we ready to really go? Okay. Then if we are ready, before we go to the next thing, the keynote address, we want to go to the goodwill messages now. And right away, I want to, like I've been instructed, I should make it and let people do their thing. So, goodwill message. Thank you, ma'am.
The director of the Institute, Professor Olajo Munfalaye, the keynote speaker, the lead paper presenter, Professor Bore, all my other colleagues on this side of the table, my colleagues on that side of the divide, I say good morning to all of us. We have a lot to do today, so I don't think we should really take a lot of time. But as we've been asked to do, to give goodwill message, so it's in my position to thank the Lord for ABRIP and the visionary behind the initiative, and also thank all those who've been working with him and who have, pioneered the association to this stage. It's an association that many more people should come to join. And all of us who are here should serve as ambassadors to recruiting members for that association. Not simply because there is need for number. No. It's because there's a need for many more people to really learn and know how to go about some of these things that the association is out to achieve, part of the mission and vision of the association. So, and the more that we have people who get to know the rubrics, the rudiments, who get to know what to do, the better it will be for us as researchers, and the better it will be for us as a country. Because all of us are going to be in different places, different institutions, where we should and must be contributing our quota to the development of upcoming researchers. But we ourselves don't really get the grip of what we should do, then we'll not be able to really give the best to those upcoming ones. Because if nobody can give what he or she does not have. And so that's why it's important for us to learn and to be ready to learn. Because life is dynamic, knowledge is dynamic, and we must be ready to key into new things that are coming on. I thank God, Dr. Adeleke, because I also want to thank the director of the institute, because part of what she's done in her tenure is to organize roundtable discussions for us in the institute, where one of us would come and take on some issues, some topics. At times we attend the pre-field seminar or post-field seminar of our students. And then we argue on some points. No, it should be like that. No, it shouldn't be like this. No, in America it's done. In Australia it's not done, and all that. And the director said, no, there's no point. Let's just find time to come together. And she initiated that. Thank you very much, Director, for that. Because it's been really beneficial to us. And Dr. Adeleke has been one of the people who has anchored one of such roundtable initiatives. You know, and when he was done with what he had to do, we said, okay, we'll have another session for students. And because I wasn't present to the end of his session, I attended the one with the students. And you know, the students were saying, now what is mommy doing here? I said, I've come to learn. Because I must learn. You know, knowledge, you know, there's nobody who has monopoly of knowledge. And the more open you are to people and to those who can give you what you don't know, the better you'll be as a person, and then the better you'll be to be contributing to, you know, the development of our nation. So on this note, I thank you, Dr. Adeleke, and I thank the Lord for giving you the strength and the vision. And my prayer is that this association will continue to work strong, and those of us who are not yet on that platform, we must get there so that we be part of it. And so I thank God for all of us. As God has brought us safely from our different locations, I believe and pray that the Lord will take us all back to our different locations in safety, and there'll always be joy in our hearts in Jesus' name. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Ma, for that inspiring. Our
Thank you. We want to recognize the presence of Professor Andy Fadoju, professor from Department of Human Kinetic and Earth Education, Faculty of Education, University of Ibadan. You can come forward, sir. Sir, the seat is reserved for you here. Thank you. Also, we want to recognize the presence of Mr. Rotimi Enoch. You are welcome, sir. You come forward, sir. Thank you.
Also, presenting a goodwill message this morning is Dr. Akin Tayo.
Standing on the existing protocol, I am very happy to be here this morning. Really happy, because looking at the participants, I flash back to sometimes in 2005, somewhere at Maverick, we had a gathering similar to this, but it was not a large one like this. I remembered I suggested to him that he should have a seminar organized for researchers to make us understand all this data we have analyzed, and then we'll be able to present it better. And this time, when he said it was going to be, I felt one kind that I was not able to participate. But this morning, looking at the population of participants, the categories of participants, varying across all borders of professionals and custodians of knowledge, our professors, our directors, our mommies and daddies, those that have been guiding us, even teaching us back at the federally funded schools. I am really happy, and I feel utmost privileged to be in our midst. Therefore, on behalf of the management of the University College Hospital, and in particular the staff, the students, and the lecturers of the federally funded schools, comprising the Environmental Health Officers Tutors Course Program, the Nurse Midwife Public Health Tutors Course Program, the Primary Health Care Tutors Course Program, and the Community Health Officers Training School. I bring greetings from our hand, and we say that and we pray that this association will grow in banks, and the rich knowledge that is being shared and spread, it will continue to grow and increase our, make our nation to prosper. Research is what is needed in various activities of our institutions. We could have been better than we are now. And therefore, that makes this particular association very significant in our nation. Therefore, I pray it will go beyond the University of Ibadan. Even it will spread so much that by the time we are meeting next time, this room will not, this conference hall will not be able to take us. So, on behalf of the management of University College Hospital, I say well done. God bless you and increase you in Jesus' name.
Also this morning, we will also coming from Professor.
The two, okay. I want to really appreciate God for this gathering. It's something that I have a passion for, and I've had passion for psychometrics for a very long time. And unfortunately, in my university, my colleagues don't understand what I'm talking about. They don't, in fact, when you talk about test theory and all, say you just talk about this abstract thing. So most of the courses on that area is being taught by me. There are times that I teach 5 to 7 courses just by myself alone. So when he called, like he said, when I saw the flyer, I was very happy. Because you know, if you have a thought and you have somebody to share with, it makes it easier for others to be able to key into. But when you don't have anybody to share with and you are just there by yourself, the students don't understand, the other lecturers don't understand, it becomes a problem. But I want to thank God for the birth of this association that is going to bring light into this place. In fact, when I was trying to prepare my keynote address, I felt like there is a way I could translate what is in my mind to others. Because you see, there are so many quacks everywhere, and they analyze so many kinds of data, something that you know is not even inconsistent with the theory, and people will go ahead. And like a lone voice, trying to let people to understand that this is not what you should do. But the birth of this association, I know that, a seed that is planted, when watered by God, it will spread forth and you have so many roots. I know that this seed that has been planted in UI today, that in the years to come, that so many people from even outside the country, as we, network globally, will find out that so many people will be interested and it will spread out. So on behalf of myself and my people down the east, because I'm going to go back and make sure, I've been trying to get people to understand. But this time around, when you thought, they said, don't you know we are on strike? But I know that strike or without strike, that this association is going to move forward, and a lot more persons are going to benefit from it. Psychometric is not only domicile in measurements. It's done so many other persons, as I will be talking about today. So we will have people from different other fields that will be collaborating with us, and we will move this association forward. Thank you very much. May the Lord continue to strengthen you and every other person that has joined hand to make this association what it is today. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Ma. Clap our hands once again. Now we want to move further as we go into keynote address. But before we go, we want to make a little change in our sitting position. We want to plead to our people on the high table to cross to this other side.
Sorry, before we move, I just want to let us know this. Because so many people be thinking education was done in UI, when doctor was done in UI, this one in UI, we didn't continue to be only in UI. So we are saying no. By God's grace, the next forum will be in another region, not even in the southwest, because it's not going to be UI based alone. And God willing, we are still going to expand our center. So it's a global application. It's not going to be locally bound at all. So I want to let you know that part of what we put in place to make programs relevant, and all the program I said is already on live stream. So people are working on all the live stream. Now we have to remember active member. So the program was posted on the broadcast. Get there in one day. Next time, so I think this issue of online interaction, presenting, and we are conferencing and all, so is what we have to do this because this is agenda. So, we do not have any money released. Let's have this one agenda. So, I told the ICT member, so let's just have the
treatment, then we will confirm it whether there is an impact. Okay, we move further to change So as we are going into the keynote presentation, I have one of the staff. Let's clap our hands. Let's clap our hands and welcome. Listen.
Don't mind my voice. I'm not supposed to be here today. If my doctor hears that Prof is here, he will query me. But I assured him that immediately I leave here, I will go for my treatment, medication. Thank you. So please, I want to say this because I thought they would give me the opportunity to say my goodwill message before this one. But tactically, they try to avoid that. Well, thank you. All the same, I will say it. I was in Dr. Adeleke's office this morning, and I said something there. And I want to repeat what I said there, because it's something. Pardon?
Air condition.
Okay, no, I'm okay. I'm okay. I told him, not just him, I told Dr. Bore was there, Dr. from Gombe was there, I said the case was what happened when, I'm sorry to say this, when Jesus Christ was taken to the synagogue to be initiated, to be dedicated, and there was a man of wisdom. He was there. Simon, you remember that man? And he said something. He was glad because his eyes saw what he was seeing. He thought he would die before the Savior would come. But he did not die. God gave him that grace. Day is coming, it's already happening, even in our Jerusalem, in our Nigeria. Not only in US, but in Nigeria. I don't want to, I want to be sincere. Challenges. We've been having a lot of challenges in research and you know what I mean. Very few people know what is basic in research and statistical analysis. Incidentally, those very few people, they have turned into extortion. I'm sorry to say, but that is exactly. A lecturer is supposed to teach a course. You will teach it at delivery. You will now expect the student to come back to you when he's doing a project so that you will collect something from him to do the analysis for him. Then what are you teaching? That is what is going. It's not just in a particular, it's all over. And some people are sorry. In fact, there are always some ganging up when your student is getting prepared to present the post-field, this and that. They will tell him, you have refused to appear and we will wait for you. That is what we do. It's a terrible situation, but thank God this war is. And I pray that the Lord will use it to put an end to all their activities. And this nation will survive. It will survive. let me tell you, if you think that it is the wish of everybody that it should survive in a lie, because some people see it as a way of taking some certain things from them. They make it here and there, and they feel that that's a way of making money. The Lord will help us. I said the Lord will help us. I'm asked to give keynote address on structural equation modeling in behavioral research. And I say the concept, the assumptions, and interpretation. The concept of SEM, the assumptions, and interpretation. I may not be able to stand more than 25, 30 minutes, but I will try. I'm very, very sorry. I will try to cover whatever I have to do here. I introduce. In the recent years, studies in behavioral research have gained a widespread of acceptability and critique. Researchers therefore need to present information on variables studied in a credible approach in order to aid valid generalizations. As observed by some speakers when you are being welcomed by the director, there are many things going all around. I was telling people I've examined many PhD works. I've assessed many people going for professorship, readership. Sometimes you ask yourself, is this one worth it at all? Let me say this. A particular university has refused to invite me for PhD exam because I refuse to cooperate. But I don't care. It's not an issue at all. It doesn't affect me. You look at some PhD works, you ask yourself, what is the relevance between the title, the research questions, the hypothesis, the analysis? You discover that they are invariants. And yet, you go, even before you start the exam, you know that, this candidate is not particularly brilliant. When you know that that candidate is not particularly brilliant, why can't you just stop it? However, that is where we have. Several traditional approaches in analyzing data for taking decisions in this area of research have several limitations because they consider only observable variables. They do not assess non-observable or latent variables and error parameters. Structural equation modeling, therefore, is a flexible approach that provides solutions in these areas for better analysis, generalization, and sound decision making. Well, I don't know what qualifies me to even present this one in the first instance. But from the little that I know that SEM is a good technique, very flexible, and it provides solution in various areas for better analysis, generalization, and sound decision making. One of my ogas, when he was presenting a paper, somehow, checking out, saying that policy makers, that we don't have good policies, or just saying something along that line. Nigeria lacks good policies in our educational sector. Well, with him I said, I was thinking that, well, what's the meaning of that? Who gives all these policies? Government will never sit down to do any serious business without consulting educationists. They will consult universities. They will consult known people. And most of the time, we will give them results of our various researches. But unfortunately, you know that many of them are faulty studies. Many of them are fake. I want to tell you that there are many people that put up papers without going to the field. I've even seen somebody that did a PhD work without going to the field. Well, that's not for today. But it's up. Don't let us deceive ourselves. So we continue to give government false, fake information. And so they base their policies on that fake information. And we are now coming back to say that government is not doing something good. This is that. Whose fault? Sorry. So what is the meaning of structural equation modeling? Structural equation modeling is a methodology for representing, estimating, and testing a network of relationships between variables, measured variables, and latent constructs. According to some writers, SEM is a complex multivariate technique that is well suited for testing various hypothesized or proposed relationships between variables, observed and latent. Although some researchers view SEM as a hybrid or combination of factor analysis and path analysis, it involves a collection of statistical techniques measuring multiple indicators in forms of variables, which can be measured either in continuous or discrete terms. It is important, therefore, for every researcher or analyst in the field of behavioral research to have a very good background and understanding of factor analysis, regression, and path analysis to fully comprehend the nature of structural equation modeling. What are the features and merits of structural equation modeling? I'm sorry. Using SEM as a sticker tool has its own merits over other traditional approaches. These merits are embedded in its features. According to some researchers, the following are identified as major merits of SEM. They are listed there. SEM can test complex patterns of relationships embedded in theories of human behavior or differences involving many variables, conditions, of groups at the same time. Therefore, SEM is highly flexible and comprehensive. I have other merits, major merits listed there, A, B, C, D, E, F. Then there are some terminologies in structural equation modeling. I'm sorry, I have to be brief so that I'll be able to cover everything before I leave. Terminologies in structural equations modeling. The use of structural equation modeling statistics in analyzing data derived from behavioral research requires every researcher or analyst to get familiar with different terminologies for easy comprehension and application. This is due to the complexity of SEM statistics. Some of these terminologies are not new to those who are familiar with several statistics, being factor or path analysis, embedded in the structure of structural equation modeling. According to, some of these terms they are listed there, latent variables, defined there. In the use of SEM, latent variables are also known as observed variables because they are not measured directly. They are referred to as factors or constructs which are determined through measurement variables. There's a diagram showing what we mean by that. Measurement variables is there. They are known as observed variables. They are also known as indicators or manifest variables because they are variables measured directly through measuring instrument. The diagram is there. Covariance. Diagram A represents relationship between measurement variable M1, M2, and M3 in a path model, and diagram B represents relationship between latent variable L1, L2, and L3 in structural equation modeling. The curved arrow between M1 and M2, L1 and L2 are known as covariance. Both variables co-vary among each other. Then we have the variance, and the diagram is also presented, and you see there. We have endogenous variables in structural equation modeling. Variables that are influenced by other variables in the model are called endogenous variables. The diagrams are there to illustrate them. Exogenous variables, the diagrams are there. Error term or disturbance term. These are residues of values of the variables measured. In SEM, all endogenous and measurement variables are measured with errors. Each of the measured variables has a circle with E inside because the measured variables in this case are endogenous. They have arrows pointing to them from interpersonal skills. They need an error term. The relationship between error values and path coefficients is determined or calculated as path coefficient squared plus disturbance squared equals, and that is the equation equals 1 in structural model and in factor analysis. In factor analysis, factor loading squared plus disturbance squared equals 1 in measurement models. Note that in regression, it is known as error term. Uniqueness in factor analysis and disturbance in structural modeling. Diagram C is there. Direct effects of model is shown there. Mediated or indirect effects of model. An effect is indirect or mediated if the influence of a variable on another variable can be determined through another variable. It's illustrated there. Recursive models illustrated there. Non-recursive models. This is a model constructed using different directional modes or paths. This is because arrows flow in more than one direction. This is not good for structural equation modeling or path analysis because it makes relationship among variables difficult to analyze and interpret. We have the non-recursive model there with the diagram. Means of structural equation modeling. There are two stated there. Model building and analysis is not causality. That reminds me because I followed the platform seriously. I don't want to miss any discussion. There was a particular time we were discussing the issue of causality in the platform. Somebody was leading us. I can't remember whether Dr. Adeleke or whatever, I can't remember now. And there was a kind of argument that in correlational studies that we can establish cause and effect. Cause and effect in correlational studies. Some people contributed to say that no, you cannot. Sincerely, we cannot. Because correlational studies, they are all about relationships. Except you set up And that is, when you look at my conclusion here, when you look at the interpretation, you cannot interpret cell. Even all this regression, multiple or whatever, we cannot conclude by saying that there is cause and effect. Please, we have to take note. If you go through studies, PhD works, you discover that people always, well, I think people are wrong. I think people are wrong to have that kind of conclusion. I think we have to correct that. Correlation doesn't mean cause and effect, please. It only shows relationship. And that is all. We have to just take care. Thank God many of us follow your discussions. But some people will want to convince you that yes, it is possible. I'm going to conclude on that. Structural equation modeling is not used for developing models or theories. Please take note. It is model testing procedures. Model testing procedures, not model developing ones. Our model should always be based on theory and knowledge from existing literature. Analytical models, methods and models of structural equation modeling. I've said it before that SEN is a complex statistics which involves different analytical methods or models in analyzing data in behavioral research. According to, the analytical methods or models that are commonly found in literature are, I listed them: correlation, which is the degree of association between two or more variables; multiple regression model, which is demonstrated there; path analytical models, which is also demonstrated there with the diagrams; factor analysis models, which is also demonstrated there with the diagram; structural regression models. Structural regression models build on the CFA models by postulating specific explanatory relationship, that is latent regressions, among constructs. Structural regression models are often used to test or disconfirm proposed theories involving explanatory relationships among various latent variables. It is regression model formed between latent variables in structural equation models because the model is made up of a combination of measurement model and structural model. Factor analysis and multiple regression analysis coexist in the model. Although the structural model is based on measurement model, the structure, another of confirmatory factor analysis model, is preserved in the model. You have the diagram showing sketchy form of structural regression model there. Latent change model or repeated measure analysis is just part of the vocabularies. Then developing valid scales using structural equation modeling and item response theory. I just mentioned it briefly there. Developing a scale with good psychometric characteristics involves establishing some analysis with their roots from cell and item response theory. The use of factor analysis, which involves using latent variables of factors, measurement model or structural equation modeling, and combat alpha analysis are the focus in this subfield. And that is exactly what we have been doing in our what we have done in our workshop. Determination of validity using factor analysis, determination of reliability using item response theory, assumption of structural equation modeling in behavioral research. We have to take note of that. In structural equation modeling, the following are the assumptions that guide the statistics. One, multivariate normal distributions is very, very important. It means that the latent variables have multivariate normal distribution. The maximum likelihood method is used and assumed for multivariate normal distribution. Small changes in multivariate normality can lead to a large difference in the chi-squared test. Okay, thank you. Then we have linearity, no outliner, non-spurious relationship, model identification, sample size, uncorrelated errors, multiple measures, multi-collinearity, components of structural equation modeling. I tried to do the components of structural equation modeling there, measurement and structure models. Then steps of analyzing structural equation modeling. They are highlighted there. They are highlighted there. Then I have the conclusion. I'm just giving 5 minutes. Structural equation modeling is a robust statistical tool for analyzing the network of relationship between variables, testing the hypothesized model with the data collected, and proving information on how the data fits the model hypothesis from existing theories or literature reviewed. It does not determine cause and effect relationship nor establish causality. It is only a testing procedure for ascertaining whether the modern or new data collected fits the model hypothesized from existing literature or theory. I want to emphasize it is important. Please note that correlational studies are not for cause and effect. Don't do finding correlation between two variables and concluding that this is as a result of this. No. It only tells you whether there is relationship or no. Well, I don't want to say no relationship because there is always a relationship. The issue is whether it is significant or not significant. Thank you. I'm sorry. I'm sorry for the. I'm sorry.
Thank you, sir. Let's clap our hands once again. Let's appreciate him. In fact, it's beyond a keynote address. It's a class on its own. I wish you have time so that you can continue with us. We want to go on our program as we go to the group photograph. The photographers, where are they? Where are we? Where are we? It's okay like that. Thank you. Let's join them on that they are standing there, all of us seated. Let's rise up on our feet. Everybody. Maybe we are going to make it two groups, but let's sing first. Please, let's sing fast. So that we can make up with our we can move to the back, to their back, move to their back, and those that want to squat at the front. Let those ones that are tall as I am to move to the back. Let those of us that are short, let's use that. We should go out. Step one níwájú ta.